Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. You're listening to a very special live stream broadcast of the Ask Dr. Ernst show. Today we're giving a shout out to UNC. They're playing Virginia Tech. So, of course, we want our team to win. We're the Carolinas, so UNC. Let's go. What does that mean, though, guys? Well, I'm not on the air today. I'm only streaming online. And we're going to have a ton of fun. I'm going to do about 30 minutes of just some heat in regards to fixing your heart, etc. Okay, this morning, probably, again, and I say this every time, one of the best webinars I've ever done. Man, we had great feedback. Did you know we had doctors on that webinar? So even physicians are wanting to learn from us how they can help their patients better. I love that. Hey, were you on that webinar? If you were, thumbs up to you. Thanks for joining us. If you weren't, okay, I know, listen, I don't have a call lines today. There's nothing on the air. This is all streaming at you through these cameras today. If you missed it, listen, you have to watch it. You have to, all right? And it's free, guys. It's absolutely free. So look, down there in whatever stream you're watching us on is a link, and you can get the replay that you can watch it anytime throughout the weekend, okay? So there's no excuse at all for you to say, I didn't know that you did this, okay? We just did it this morning live. It was phenomenal. And if you missed it, right now, scroll down there, click that link, save that tab, and then come back here. Come back to our stream right here so you can see us and connect with us. And I'm going to break down cholesterol even further. We were asked by a lot of you to do the cholesterol lowering natural protocols and everything. I hinted to it 2 weeks ago on the show, Solving Heart Disease. Okay, so I'm going to talk a lot about this. But look, I just want to share why. Why is this so important? In my opinion, because you're being lied to horrifically. When you get an annual physical at your medical office, right, here's what happens, right? Cholesterol numbers come back. If it's 201, they're going to yell and scream at you, statin, 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 statin. If your LDL is over 100, they're going to yell and scream at you, statin, statin, statin. And what we know today is there's an entire functional, holistic, healthy approach to fix this. And I've broken it down into 6 categories, okay? Functional approach to managing high lipids. We got to talk about the sterols and the fish oils and the viscous fibers. And look at this, the tougher ones, the pulses, and the tocotrienols and the probiotics. Oh, don't give up. You can do this, okay? This isn't that complicated. They're just fancy words for things that you should already know about anyway. But I wonder how many of you are like, yeah, that's me, a viscous fiber every day. Probably not. We got to talk about that. Or like, what's your pulse intake? What? My pulse, Dr. Ernst? Like I'm at 70 beats a minute. No, how many pulse do you eat? What is a pulse? Well, we got to talk about that today. And the big one, right? How many tocotrienols are you consuming daily? Huh? A toco what and all? So the gamma and deltas, see what I mean when I say you missed the best webinar ever? All of these 6 approaches, they don't just manage lipids. You know what they do? They manage your health. They manage your healing. They help to lower cholesterol and triglycerides and blood sugars, blood pressure, etc. So, boom, I'm coming at you hot and heavy this afternoon just because I'm on a high still from this morning. And I've got all kinds of stuff to show you. Listen, I love doing the live streams. I can hold stuff up. Like, have you ever heard of that? A delta tocotrienol? Probably not, but you will today, and I guarantee you're going to be like, where do I get it from? Okay, so I have to talk to you about this. Cholesterol is not what you've been told it is, okay? You've been told cholesterol is the enemy and that you want to get rid of it. If you could get your cholesterol to 0, you'd be super healthy. No, you'd be dead. All right? So why is it such a big deal? Well, Big Pharma doesn't want you to know the secret. You know why this? Listen, in 2008, I know it's a while ago, but just 2008, $300 billion to manage cardiovascular disease. That's a lot, just so you guys know. 1 in 3 Americans have metabolic syndrome, which means high triglycerides, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and it's the precursor to heart disease. 1 in 3 deaths in the U.S. are currently because of clogged arteries, giving people heart attacks. And in the U.S., every 39 seconds, I've been on the air for almost 5 minutes. So every 39 seconds, so 2 people approximately every minute have just died in the last minute Okay, it's unacceptable to me. Close to 1 million heart attacks a year in the United States. And here's the deal. Everybody says cholesterol is dangerous. I even have patients still. Dr. Ernst, I cut out all the eggs in my diet and I don't eat red meat. And in fact, if it has cholesterol in it, I stay away from it. Be careful. That's the worst thing you could ever do. All right? Why is cholesterol actually something you should consume? Why do you want to eat it? Because it's critical. It's essential for you to have your health. Your brain and your nervous system cannot function when your cholesterol is low. Do you hear this? If you take a statin, you're shutting your brain down. If you're taking a statin, you're getting rid of CoQ10, an essential electrical nutrient needed for electrical conductivity, brain communicating to organs, and your heart. It can't work without CoQ10, and yet a statin lowers CoQ10. You need cholesterol to move fats. All right, so if you're like, I want this fat to move, Dr. Ernst, well, your cholesterol is too low. And you need cholesterol to make sure that you have hormones like testosterone and estrogen and pregnenolone and cortisol and thyroid and everything else. So what is the deal here? Well, see, everyone is labeling cholesterol incorrectly. Let's do a little test, ready? So like, again, I told you we're going to have fun today. This is going to be hot and heavy, short and sweet, tons of information. If your cholesterol is 225, are you at risk for heart attacks? I don't know. Let's see. Can we engage today? All right. I see all of you online. So I want that chat. I want that comment start to fill up. Is your heart unhealthy if your cholesterol is over 225? Look, I know there's a delay between when I speak and when you see it on Facebook or YouTube and then when you comment. So I'm just going to wait for a second. Is cholesterol at 225 a heart attack risk? It depends on your understanding. So, okay, there's a few comments, and look at the thumbs up. That's awesome. Okay, so ready? If you're a classically trained physician or a patient of a classic physician, 225 is a risk. Yeah, according to them. You're going to have a heart attack. But you have to break it down further, and we talked about this all during our webinar today, but there's many types of cholesterol, just so you guys know. One, ready? There is HDL, high-density lipoprotein. Is that good? Yeah, it's been labeled good, but guess what? It's also, we need it. And we need LDL cholesterol, which is the bad. So wait a minute. We need the bad. Yes. We need the good. Yes. So is one bad or good? Now, they're about balance and ratio. Okay, how about this one? VLDL, very low density lipoprotein. Nobody really talks about that. That thing's more dangerous than HDL or LDLs being high or low. But did you know that LDL needs to be broken down again into a different pattern called A or B? And I'm going to try to go slow so you can understand this. Pattern A are big, fluffy, beautiful looking LDL molecules. Pattern A. Pattern B are smaller particle size, tinier. And so look at this analogy, guys, so you can see this. My LDL readings of 130 or my LDL readings of 130, they both weigh the same, all right? So each of them, camera just paused for a second. Are we back? There it goes. Okay. LDL, LDL large, LDL small. They both weigh the same. They're both 130. Fantastic. But these are large and these are small. So see how many of them there are? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think you guys get this. They weigh the same. They're the same number. Which one do you want? I want this one. I want that one right there. I don't want these. Why? Why is pattern B so dangerous? Why is nobody talking about this? Okay, I'm going to hold this up so you guys can see this. Pattern B, these small particles, are dangerous because they can get into the little tiny spaces between your cells and cause damage and oxidation, whereas the pattern A, large LDLs, can't. So notice, what does it say here? Ready? Rapid entry into the arterial wall. Don't want that. Low vitamin E, definitely don't want that. That will prevent the oxidation. More susceptible to oxidative damage because they're lacking vitamin E. Makes your blood sugars go up when you have tons of pattern B. And watch this. After certain meals, The blood fat levels double when there's pattern B present. What does that mean? You store more fat than you burn it. You get overweight. You can't get rid of it, and there's less nutrients, less blood flow. There's not a good relaxation, so blood pressure goes up. Can you see this? Stop labeling total cholesterol as the problem. Don't even look at LDLs as the problem. You need to know their size. Now, I talked about this on the webinar today, and I'm going to share it with you today. Is there a test that shows you the patterns? Yes. It's called an NMR profile. It's about $250. Worth it if you're taking a statin. Why? Because maybe the elevated cholesterol isn't a problem. Okay, think of it this way. Would you rather have 1,000 $100 bills or 1,000 $1 bills? Jeopardy music, please. Can we cue some Jeopardy music? Nah. Okay. I'm waiting, guys. Comments. Look, this is live, all right? I want to hear from you. I want to see from you in those comments below. Would you rather have 1,000 $100 bills or 1,000 dollar bills? I mean, it's pretty straightforward, isn't it? I'd rather have the big boys. I'd rather have these. I would love an LDL of 200 if it's this versus 200 if it's that. See the analogy? Good. Okay, now, how do we solve this then? If your cholesterol is high, step number 1, figure out, do you have pattern A or pattern B? It's got to be done. Has to be done. If you're taking a statin, you have to find out what you have. If your physician won't do it because they either don't know about it or they say stuff like, well, your insurance doesn't cover this, okay, connect with us. All right, askdrernst.com, AskDrErNST.com. Hey, click our stream, our channels right up there somewhere. It should say Ask Dr. Ernst. It'll take you to our main page. You got our messaging contacts, etc. But then come back, right? Come back. All right? I'm going to go through these 6 things. I've got about 20 minutes to do it, and it's plenty of time. These 6 things will help you to solve your cholesterol temporarily until you get the real root fixed, which is vagal nerve damage. All right? Just so you know, vagal nerve damage is the root cause of almost all disease, and this is what we talked about on our webinar. This is why people do the best diets on the planet and their cholesterol levels never budge. If you have vagal nerve damage, you could be a raw vegan who works out 17 times a day, and your cholesterol levels aren't going to budge much. Now watch this. You could be a Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Wendy's, KFC eater and have a really good vagal tone and not actually have a lot of, I know, right? It's a shock. Not have a lot of cholesterol issues. Why? Because the nerve system trumps everything. So what are the 6 steps to lower it in the interim? Well, number 1, plant sterols. What the heck is a plant sterol? Well, technically, by definition, a plant sterol is just that. Sterols, a type of fat that comes from plants that happens to be able to grab cholesterol. It like sticks to it. So again, I pulled some infographics for you. Plant sterols work to lower your cholesterol naturally by absorbing it. I don't know if you can see it here. See, there's a lot of cholesterol in the digestive system, a lot of cholesterol in the blood. No plant sterols, so they just float around. Now, if you consume plant sterols, these little greenish things, in your digestive system, the cholesterol is bound, so you don't absorb it. It doesn't get in your blood, and you actually basically defecate out cholesterol. I know it sounds weird, but that would be great. If you have really high cholesterol and it's pattern B, dangerous, we want you to just kind of whoosh, flush the toilet and say goodbye cholesterol. Thanks, plant sterols. Where do you get plant sterols from? Well, I like this one. All right, this is what I currently recommend and use in my clinic. Pure Encapsulations is a pharmaceutical grade supplemental company, and notice, what do they call this? Cholestra Pure Plus 2. What is this? Well, by definition, it's 500 milligrams of plant sterols, berberine hydrochloride, which is a natural herbal supplement, and also a I'll call it like an essential oil extract that helps to lower it, and something called bergamot extract, again, another essential oil. So this, would be something fantastic for you to start using if you're looking for an alternative to a statin that's safe. Okay, what does the research say? Well, 15% reduction in cholesterol numbers by using plant sterols. That's huge, just so you guys know. Fish oils, number two. Number 2, fish oils. See them right there? EPA and DHA, according to the research, if you consume those regularly, you can have a 50% reduction in triglycerides, not cholesterol, but they come hand in hand. Remember, if there's lots of pattern B, what happens? You store a ton of fat. Triglycerides are fat. So we want to take EPA and DHA generally from a really clean source. All right? Third, viscous fiber. Have you guys heard of viscous fibers? Notice the research says that viscous fibers can reduce your LDLs by as much as almost 10%, 9% according to the research. All right, what is a viscous fiber? Well, ready for this? It's things like glucomanins, if you know these, delta glucans, beta glucans, pectins, guar gums, psyllium. My favorite viscous fiber, chia seeds and flax seeds soaked into a liquid, either water, coconut milk, etc. Makes this kind of paste that you can eat. So viscous, thick, gelatinous-y fibers will lower your cholesterol. Ding, 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 by 9%, maybe 10 on average. What about this one, all right? So see the pulses, a.k.a. non-oil seed legumes. What the heck does it mean to be a non-oil seed? Well, let's talk about what an oil seed is first. Soybeans are seeds that we make oil out of. So is corn seed oil, cotton seed oil, peanut seed oil. You get it? Rape seed oil. That's canola, by the way. Danger, danger. Stay away from that. Vegetable oils. Stay away from them. Okay? Seed oils, bad. They raise your cholesterol. A non-seed oil, which would be like a bean or a legume, is called a pulse. And those can reduce your cholesterol levels quite a bit, okay? Up to 8% of LDL reduction. So what are these? Well, ready? There's really only like a few. It's things like legumes, right? Lentils, garbanzo beans, etc. These non-oil seed pulses, when consumed, lower cholesterol quite a bit. So stay away from soy, corn, cotton, peanut, rape, canola, or vegetable oils because they're dangerous. All right, probiotics. You guys see this? You might be thinking, what the heck does a probiotic have to do with my cholesterol levels? Well, I think you guys know that, number one, your gut is wildly important with your overall health. If you have a leaky gut, an inflamed gut, or a dysbiotic, which is just a fancy term for meaning an infected intestine, what we tend to see is inflammation, irritation, and I'll call it systemic effects. Okay, can a leaky gut cause hypertension? Yes. Can a leaky gut cause high cholesterol? Yes. Can a leaky gut make problems such that you divert hormones from one system to another? Yes. Your gut is involved in redistributing, it's a fancy word, redistributing fats. And it's also involved in absorbing bile, so you recycle it. But see, here's the problem, guys. Bile binds cholesterol. So let's just pretend that my keys are bile, and here's some cholesterol. Well, bile will stick to the cholesterol, and your body reabsorbs the bile through your intestines, so therefore you're reabsorbing cholesterol. See the problem? So why do plant sterols work? Well, they bind cholesterol more than bile. So you defecate it out. Why do the viscous fibers work? Well, because they bind cholesterol. The liquidy, jelly sort of viscous fibers grabs the cholesterol, so you defecate it out. All cholesterol is a waxy sort of fat-based substance that is secreted by your liver, and it can bind to bile and get into your intestines. Okay, so the tocopherols are something I want to focus on just for a minute. So this whole gamma delta tocopherol, yes, thank you for pointing out that I went from here to here. But tocopherols are unique. You might be thinking, and see, I even messed it up, tocopherol. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about tocotrienol. Everybody thinks tocopherol, vitamin E. Be careful. You have tocopherol and you have tocotrienol. Tocotrienol is what you need, all right? They are slightly different than tocopherols. Tocopherols are the famous ones, but they have really long sort of fatty acid chains. I want you to think classic tocopherol, vitamin E. Then you have a tocotrienol, which has a really short tail. And I'm not going to bore you with the details of the science, but just know you need the tocotrienol. Tocotrienol. See it? Tocotrienol. There are two styles, gamma and delta, that have been shown to, what is that? 27%. Let's see if I can center this. That's tough. 27% reduction in LDLs. Okay, what is a healthy tocotrienol? There's only two. Rice bran oil and palm fruit oil. Yeah, so when's the last time that you just said, yep, for breakfast I had my rice bran oil and I had my palm fruit oil? Never, unless you know about these things. Absorbable tocotrienols are available, but you have to know about them. You would never find these unless you know where to look. All right, here's one, delta tocotrienol. So it's a supplement, guys. You just take it. All right, so there's one. Okay, what is this? This is the advanced bionutritionals. I am no way trying to plug this stuff, but there's not that many companies that make these, so there is one. See it? Yes, okay. That's the delta. Remember, we also need what? We need the gamma, okay, or the delta, but I'm going to be transparent. I think the gammas are more highly studied than the deltas. Here's a brand that if you just Google gamma tocotrienol, what do we see? Well, we see a gamma E supplement, mixed tocotrienols. Notice, it's perfect, exactly what we would need. So I would like to say and propose, what if you did this? You start consuming plant sterols by supplementation. You start consuming your EPA, DHEA by supplementation. You start eating your viscous fibers, psyllium and chia and flax, soaked in water or coconut milk, which, by the way, has guar gum inside of it, which is also a viscous fiber. You bump your probiotic consumption up, fermented foods or probiotic capsules. You start taking both gamma and delta tocotrienols, and we eat the rice bran oil, palm fruit oils, and the pulses or legumes. And guess what? You will see a massive transformation in your cholesterol levels, guaranteed. Now, here's my disclaimer. How does it go? Like, the following statement is not approved by the FDA, the AMA, or any MD out there, because they're going to want to say, danger, don't do that. Why? Well, if you're on a cholesterol medication and you do the natural methods, could you make your cholesterol get too low? Sure. But you tell me, would you rather do natural or would you rather take synthetic? By the way, statins will rip your liver to pieces, take your CoQ10 to near zero, make your muscles rip open and explode. I'm being dramatic, but this is actually what happens. Damage your arteries, elevate your insulin, stress out your cortisol, make your brain rot. Literally, degeneration of the brain is a common side effect of long-term statin use, cognitive decline, dementia, Alzheimer's. I would rather take the natural method and remember who I am and who my kids are and my grandkids than to wake up one day and go, where am I? Who am I? Who are you? Listen, it happens quite often. And my camera just freaked out again. 3, 2, 1, we're back. Okay, it happens. And most people blame it on age, when in fact it's just the number of years you've been taking that statin, which is basically robbing you from health and life. So about 6 minutes left. Hey, listen, if you have a specific question for me, use the chat, all right? I'm cutting the time frame short so I can respond to every single comment down there. And I'm going to give you a little tidbit teaser. On our webinar today, I gave away a free assessment of your current medical labs. Get this? If you can type in your total cholesterol, HDL, LDL, and VLDLs, if you know them, and triglycerides, I'll respond back and tell you, is it pattern A or pattern B? I've been doing this for so long, all it takes are those numbers, and I can just look straight at it and go, that's pattern X, A or B, right? And then, as a little freebie for today, since you're watching our live stream, use the link below to watch the webinar replay. I guarantee you're going to go, oh, because what I just shared with you today is a small portion of what we talked about. So in summary, because I know some of you hop on after we go live, there are 6 steps that will resolve your cholesterol naturally. Number 1, plant sterols. Number 2, EPA, DHEA. Number 3, viscous fibers. Number 4, pulses, or the non-oil seed legumes, beans and nuts and stuff like that. Tocotrienols, not tocopherols. Tocotrienols, gamma and delta. And probiotics. Well, Dr. Ernst, I have no clue what you're talking about. I only just hopped on. Guess what? In about 4 minutes, the live broadcast stops, and you just rewind back and push play. How cool is that? Okay, comment time. Ready? I want to see them. Start chatting away. Start engaging. Start using your brain and your thumbs at the same time and ask really good questions. I don't think you guys realize how valuable this time is. You get free answers to your health questions, but only if you ask them. Okay, so do we need cholesterol? Yes. You can't live without it. And did you know that according to the Mayo Clinic, Johns Hopkins, and even the Cleveland Clinic, you can go too low for your cholesterol? So ready for this? If your total cholesterol is less than 170, red alert! The research says you're increasing your risk for stroke, increasing your risk for heart attack. What? That doesn't make sense. Dr. Ernst, I take a statin and my cholesterol is 154. My cardiologist literally said I get the gold medal for heart health. Don't take that medal. That's medical medals. You're going to have a problem if you don't pay attention. Dr. Ernst, my doctor's super happy. My LDLs are like at 50. What kind of LDL do you have? Do you have 50 small particles, pattern B, or 50 large particles, pattern A? And by the way, 50 is way too low. What do you guys need to know? Okay, look, I'm seeing a ton of comments, all right? But here's the thing. If I text and respond to those, the camera shuts down. See, I tried to do it earlier, and you guys saw what happened. So I've got 3 minutes, and then I'm going to sit here for about the next 30 minutes answering your questions. So this is my shout-out, my call to action. I'm sitting right here. I'm in the studio. Comment. If you're on YouTube, comment. If you're on Facebook, comment. Ask your questions. What if my question has nothing to do with cholesterol? Ask it anyway. I'm sure I can help you and answer you. What if it has to do with high blood pressure? Well, they're connected. High cholesterol, high blood pressure. What if it has to do with type 2 diabetes? It also is connected. Okay, just ask. That's why it's called Ask Dr. Ernst. You ask your health questions. We will tell you what you need to do. No copay required. But if you need some serious help and some health coaching and you want to get off your medications, well, hey, that's the time to visit our website, askdrernst.com. Click the consultation request button that is somewhere up on the top of the page. And listen, guys, it's a free phone call. If you or a loved one or someone you know is suffering with a health issue that they can't seem to break by medicating or doing whatever, click away. Send this to them. Share this. This is probably the most energetic 30-minute radio show that I've done in quite some time. So share it. Like it. Okay, ready? Hearts. Who can be the first person to click some hearts for me? Got to see if you're watching or not, right? Yeah. Okay, good. All right, now comments, all right? I see a bunch of comments, so I'm going to answer them. And shameless plug, right? It is now the 19th of February. It is now a little bit after, almost 3:30. And my next webinar is in 4 weeks from today. And I'm willing to even customize that one for you guys. So what do you want to know? What would you like to learn about? So here's my call to action. Those of you on Facebook know you can actually go to our page and hit message and send us a message, private message. So I want you to say this: Dr. Ernst, I want your webinar to be about fill in the blank. If you're on Google watching us on YouTube, it's a little more complicated, but you can use the comment section and just say, Dr. Ernst, I want your webinar to be about, and fill in the blank. I've got 4 weeks to form whatever you want me to talk about, and I'll do it for you when you comment or share or connect with us, just so we can know. Hey guys, I realize today is a little different than what you're used to, but it's because we're only broadcasting live today through our social channels because of the UNC Virginia Tech game. Go Tar Heels. Maybe they actually win. And guess what? This is the time right now for me to say thank you so much for being on with us. I hope you learned something, okay? Hot and heavy, I know. And you might be like, my pen's on fire. I was taking notes so fast, I burned a hole through the sheet. That's why, in just a minute, you just simply let the page refresh, rewind back, and push play. If you're listening to our podcast, well, guess what? It's already after hours and you had a great time being here, but maybe it's time to connect with us on our social channels, facebook.com/AskDrErnst, youtube.com/AskDrErnst, twitter.com, parlor.com, Rumble, you name it. Ask Dr. Ernst is your key to unlock free health information. You can also visit us at AskDrErnst.com, where we have free downloads, recipes, protocols, ebooks, guides, and the best resource ever, a no copay way to connect with myself and our team. Thank you so much for being here today. We give a salute to all of you who were on the webinar today. And again, if you missed it, click the link below to get the free webinar access replay link that you can watch at any time. I'll see you guys next week for a live broadcast at 3 p.m. on 1110 a.m., 99.3 FM, WBT, and streaming on all channels. Thanks so much. Until next week.